than what a silver eagle would be, but all you have is a silver round. And I looked up some information, and I guess there's a Lakota bank, but I've seen that these really are not the same. And if it is the same, what it is kind of, they keep 200-plus coins. This guy said he received 200 coins. He took delivery, but they also kept 200 coins of his order in their bank. And supposedly he's going to obtain a 7% interest, tax-free, and anonymous. He says this is like a 12-month CD. All transactions into and out of the bank are in silver only. No vault charges are assessed in the minimum of 200 ounces, and blah, blah, blah. The silver stays in the country, but I also read you can't even take possession of those silver coins for over a year. Don't get involved.
They're using your money for their float.
Yeah.
And there's a guy that runs the thing named Madoff.
His cousin.
That's absurd. Not with my money.
No, folks.
I mean, you got to get what you pay for. Never mind holding coins for you. They want to use your money to finance what they're doing.
Take possession of your metals. Always, if you can, take possession. And I had another customer call me, Bob. He wanted to have his IRA. He wanted to cancel his IRA. He was going to personally open up an LLC and purchase a new IRA under the LLC, put his gold coins back into the LLC IRA, and hope that he had an extra layer of protection from if they came in there and took the gold coins out of his IRA. It's like, forget about it. You just keep your coins in there. If you're so concerned about the government taking your coins, just pull it out, pay the penalty and the tax, and be done with it, and take possession of your coins. That is the safest way. And no matter what you do, just like this offshore banking, Bob, I'm sorry, but if anybody, offshore banking to me is for the jet setters, people who have easy access, multimillionaires. They're not looking to preserve their wealth. They're looking to hide the money, or they're looking so, they get tax benefits for other countries. It's not for the most people that are listening to these programs and are looking to preserve their wealth. And tell me if I'm wrong, Bob.
The cheapest account that I heard of recently was $500,000 minimum.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of money for most people. And but there are people who can do that, but you got to fill out a W-9. And I know that you're not trying to avoid taxation, but the idea is to get the gold and silver out of harm's way, which is the government, the enemy. And you can't do that if you fill a W-9 up, because they'll get on the phone and say, hey, does Joe Adams have an account over there at XYZ Bank in Caymans or Bahamas or Switzerland? And the bank says, yeah, they got an account here. We got their W-9 here. Well, we're confiscating any gold that's outside the country, so send it back to us.
I mean, I can't tell people not to pay taxes, but the numismatic coins are the most private coin that you have. When you sell them, no 1099s are generated. You pay more in taxes than the premiums that you pay above spot, so...
Well, what other coins are exempt from reporting other than numismatics?
They list bullion coins, and the report actually shows, like Krugerrands, Maple Leafs, they don't specifically list gold eagles. So a lot of dealers do not report gold eagles, and it's 24 more ounces in a 24-hour period. However, it's all open to interpretation. If it's a bullion coin, it should fall underneath that. And if you want to avoid any future problems, then you report it, because it is a bullion coin. So, but the guideline is 24 more ounces in a 24-hour period. I can't tell you that so you don't pay your taxes, because then I get in trouble and I get thrown in jail and I get the audits and everything like that.
Well, that sounds fun. Let's do it.
Huh? Hey. This is from Murray. What is this bad bank thing about, and what does it mean to us lowly taxpayers?
Oh, that's simple. What it means is that they're going to take all of the mistakes made by the financial sphere and they're going to put it in a holding tank, and they're going to give these banks loans against those securities. And they never tell you how much they're going to allow the loan for, what percentage of the whole. Example, let's say someone has a bond which is in mortgages, and the Federal Reserve says, well, we're going to give you 80% on that bond, when they know darn right well it's worth 20 cents. This is what this is all about. And so they will give them a loan of 80%, or they'll give them treasuries for 80% of the value of those securities. And the bad securities go into the bad bank, this holding tank. They might sit there forever. Who gets to pay for them? The American taxpayer. It is absolutely a giant ripoff to keep these banks who are screwing everybody, stealing for them, totally corrupt, evil, and getting them off the hook. And, of course, Congress goes right along with it because they're all bought and paid for by the same people. And that's the state of our government today, and that's why I keep on telling you that you have no recourse anymore through government or through the courts. And as this thing degenerates, it's going to go into the streets, and the only way you're going to change your government is to change it physically. And that is going to happen. So that's why I tell you, you have to have freeze-dried and dehydrated foods, a water filter, and something to defend your family. Because it's going to come to that, and don't think it isn't.
Conversation I had this morning, a customer called me, and he lives in close to Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania, went into one of the larger stores from down the Lancaster way, and the sporting goods gun store is a fairly large one. He says the place has been packed for weeks, and the guy said ever since the election. He says we can't even keep things in fast enough because it just continues to go out. So people know what's coming.
I've had the same thing with maybe 30 or 40 letters.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
it's
going on all over the place, and I keep on telling people, you know, you got to have an assault weapon. They're easy to fire, particularly the AR-15 because there's very little recoil. 10, 30-shot clips with every weapon and 1,000 rounds of ammo in a firefight on semi-automatic, that'll last you 5 minutes. Take it from somebody who knows. And you ask any veteran who was in Vietnam or Korea or the Second World War, they'll tell you the same thing. So that's what you need. All the other stuff is superficial. You got to be able to reach out and touch someone who intends to do you harm. You don't want to shoot at them at 8 feet. You want to shoot at them at 408 feet.
Do you think that the government in the next few years will still be functioning and able to provide water and electricity?
No, but I think if that happens, that the local people will take over those entities and they'll work out a way that is fair to continue to make them function. Government may not be functional. There may be whole sections of the United States that have left the Union. I mean, you might have the entire state of Texas say, no, we're not belonging anymore. We get, guards in our borders, and that's the way it's going to be. And we'll trade with neighboring states, or maybe you'll have a group of states band together that have commonality of interest. Maybe it'll be Oklahoma and Texas and Arkansas. I don't know. But you're going to see those kind of things happen. And you're going to see people who are, we'll call it breaking the law. That's what we call it today. They're doing things that they shouldn't do. They'll be summarily shot. I mean, there's not going to be any trials. If somebody's robbing somebody, they're going to get blown away. There's going to be summary justice. And I can tell you right now, the military is going to be our friend, not our enemy. And local and state law enforcement better wise up, because if they get in the middle, they don't stand a chance. I mean, this is going to happen. It's going to happen in 50 different countries or more, all over the world. People are disgusted. They know what's going on because they are listening to these broadcasts all over the world. And I get letters every day, 10 or 15 of them, from all kinds of countries. And so we know